already hit it.
Oh, you already hit the
I
button.
mean, now we're
Hey,
live.
welcome back.
Now we're live from New York City.
444. I think. I mean, that sounded good anyway.
Sounded good?
Yeah. Unlike
it's
this,
fucking raining.
unlike the storm does not sound good.
This is like the third.
It's
Is that hail?
Sound like it. The old cabin's getting a little beaten. Yeah, it sounds like some hail. Yeah, I was just standing out there earlier right before you got here and shot a little intro video, and you could see how gray it was and nasty, and the whole wind blowing the grass. Looked pretty cool. But, yeah, well, we're back. We're not real sure what we're going to talk about tonight. I got a couple things I want to bring up, talk about. Cody's got an announcement to make. He's getting ready to start a new venture as far as work goes.
God. You make it sound like I'm getting drafted to a different team.
I mean, he's no longer going to be working with me. He's got to go on and do his thing.
My sanity will thank me later.
Yeah. Your body may hate you after a while in the
body's gonna hate me.
summertime, the heat and everything, but
My bank account's going to like it.
oh yeah, your bank account will love it.
I don't know. This might be the last episode before you get back from vacation.
This will be the last episode before
Yeah.
I get back from vacation.
So we will have a week off next week.
Yeah.
Which you're going to be fucking
I'm going to Jamaica.
balls deep in sand.
Cannot wait. Dude, I've been looking it up and all of the different stuff. Of course, we're staying at an all-inclusive resort, so that part's cool. Once we get there, it's all paid for, all taken care of. We just hang out, relax. I think I am going to spend a little extra money because my wife doesn't know it yet. And the good part is she won't get to see this before we get back. But I think we're going to do a couples massage one day just because it sounds great. I've only had maybe a couple of massages in my whole life.
Happy ending?
I don't think it's going to be a happy ending.
Oh,
We're going to Jamaica. I don't think there's any Asians there.
just some massive man with hands.
Fine. Whew. Yeah, no, I'll pass. If it's not a girl, I don't want rub down.
He just goes up to here in his hand. You're like,
Yeah,
all right, all right.
So, whoa, dude,
I'm
that's
really-
a butt cheek.
I'm really relaxed right now.
I would not be relaxed. I'd be tense as hell.
Did you see that video? I think I sent it to YouTube. The one I sent to you and Gavin, I think, and a couple other people. The guy was he was at like a chiropractor. He puts his hands in between his ass.
Oh,
crack
yeah,
and tries
right.
to pop his,
Puts his thumb right up in there to pop his tailbone, and he's like, "Ugh."
and he's like, yeah, you're gonna need a towel after that. I was really relaxed after that.
I just
He's-
shit
he's
everywhere.
like, you're gonna have to clean your hands off.
Oh, yuck.
He's making a joke about it because it wasn't actually him.
Right.
It was another guy, and he's
Right.
just like, "Hey, easy. Oh." And he was like,
Oh.
"That's not the bone." He's- yeah, that's gonna be you in Jamaica.
No.
Just massive.
No,
man
if I
hands.
feel that gal's hands moving anywhere close to anything, I'll just fart.
It's probably gonna be a dude.
It's not going to be a dude. If it's a dude, I'm going to pass and get my money
Is that
back.
a rule, or is that just like around here?
What?
If you go get a massage, isn't it mostly dudes?
No.
Dudes or
No, I've had 2 massages here in town, and they were both women.
Mm.
Yeah, I couldn't do the whole. I don't think I could let a dude rub me up, like in any way, shape, or form. I don't want some dude's hands on me, other than a handshake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even at that, you shake his hand, you get done, you're like, ugh.
I mean, wow, shaking your hand.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. I just don't want dudes touching me.
I mean, if I use my left hand to shake someone's hand, this hand's probably cleaner. I wipe my ass with this hand.
You do, yeah. Okay,
I'm just saying.
that's it.
Well, I don't have. I have no lady for that.
Yeah.
I get laid more than you do, so.
Okay, and we're moving on. God, why you got to throw a guy under the bus
Well,
like
we're both
that?
better than Gavin, so.
No, so I was watching a deal on Jamaica.
I love you, Gavin.
But there's a YouTube channel called Blue Gabe, and this dude travels all over fishing, and he usually goes to the Bahamas, and he goes to like Florida Keys and stuff. He lives in Florida, and my mom and dad have been watching him, and they're like, "Man, you got to check this guy out because not only does he go out and fish and spearfish
Is
and
he
lobster,
the guy that's always on the TV
Yeah,
when I go
yeah.
in there?
not only
always
does he
seems
do
to
all
be in
that,
some weird fucking forest when I go in
yeah,
there.
but at the end of every episode, he cooks what he
Oh,
catches.
yeah.
And he's got all these cool recipes. So they were telling me about it. So the other day after work, I got home. Well, there was a tree fell down right over the new fence out here that I built. So I had to cut the tree up. I went home and I'm like, you know what? We only got a week left. We're getting ready to leave. I'm gonna watch this dude and see what all's going on over there. Because I want to go deep sea fishing while we're there.
Yeah.
I don't know if our group's going to want to do that.
Yeah.
So,
would you go by yourself?
oh yeah. I mean, I'd go in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's got to do with killing shit and shooting shit, fishing, and sign me up.
Collusion.
If I have a choice between sitting on the beach and staring at an ocean, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love hanging out with my wife, and I'll hang out with my wife on the beach. But they're all okay with just sitting and drinking and watching everything. I want to be in it. I'm not getting in the ocean because I'm never going to be shark bait.
Yeah, you're fucking.
But I want to get in a boat and go out and catch something cool.
What if you catch a shark?
I'll eat him.
Oh, I've never.
But they're going to shoot him before they get him in the boat because I don't want to get bit.
I don't think they shoot him. I think
they
just
do.
Fucking hook him in the head.
No, they have a bang stick with a 12-gauge shell in it.
Oh.
They just put it right on their head and pop. Or at least that's what they did down in Gulf Shores. Because I went down there shark fishing. We caught a sand tiger.
Oh yeah.
And they brought him right up to the boat and then just popped him in the back of the head. Or no. I take that back. It was in Padre. We fished out on an oil rig.
Gulf Shores. Because like I've been to the ocean before.
Right. So I'm watching this dude, and I knew there's a place called Dunn's River, and they do this like rafting thing, and it's got a big waterfall, and it's supposed to be super pretty. Well, my wife wanted to do this Dunn's River excursion.
Good thing you're already married.
Oh yeah,
because she'd be expecting that.
Yeah. So then we got to reading. No, she doesn't want to do it anymore either.
Why?
Their mosquitoes are the size of horseflies.
Bro, I had one of them here.
Yeah.
When I was working on my camper last weekend.
Like I've never seen anything like it
on my arm, and Ashley's like, "What is that?" And I was like, "Oh fuck!" And I smacked it. It was a fucking mosquito the size of a quarter.
Every review that we read over there, besides sunscreen, they said bring bug spray. And after watching this dude on YouTube, it's no shit. Like anything that's not the ocean and it's not dry land is a swamp over there.
Yeah.
And they've got like, oh my God, mosquitoes should be their country bird. Like their national bird. Because they're huge, they're black, and they're fucking everywhere. So they went up to this river. God dang. No pun intended.
Sorry.
Right? But they went up to this river, this Dunn's River, and he takes his own crawdad traps with him.
Yeah.
And they're catching these tiger prawns. This prawn, which is a type of shrimp, with his pinchers, because these prawns have these big long pinchers stick out in front of them, 22 inches long. Yeah. Talk about a shrimp. The shrimp's tail was bigger than my hand. And they catch a whole bunch of them, and they show how they cook them over there and everything. Then they went mud crab, catching mud crabs over there. I didn't know this until this guy's show. There's white-tailed deer on that island.
Really?
White-tailed deer and feral pigs.
I don't know what the fuck they look like.
I don't know.
I mean, they can't look like ours.
It never did. I'm sure they do. I mean, it's just subspecies, I'm sure. But they never did show them shooting one. They were going out to shoot one.
Yeah.
But because that island's so small and it's so inhabited, they wouldn't let them use rifles. So they had to use shotguns with slugs.
Even just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they were going to kill a hog or a deer or whatever they could get on. Like I said, they never did show it, but they did say they had them. And I was like, damn, that's cool as hell. So maybe I'll go to Jamaica and kill a deer. I doubt it.
I'm curious to know how much that costs.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be very cheap.
The white-tailed deer was introduced to Jamaica in the 1980s.
So they've been there a while.
6 deer escaped from Somerset Falls in Portland and went into the wild. Wait, what?
So they were transplanted over there in the 80s?
Transplanted. Yeah. Transported, yeah.
Yeah, transplanted. They took them over and planted them. And they grew.
I mean, they look the same.
Yeah, I'm sure they're probably smaller. Just from a lack of, I mean, you get down in southern Arkansas and Louisiana and stuff, their whitetail look like dogs compared to ours. You shoot a 200-pound doe up here, you get down there.
Yeah, they're fucking tiny.
Yeah, you'd be lucky to shoot a 70-pound doe. That's why all my buddies come up here and deer hunt. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool that they had deer. I figured they had feral hogs. Just about everywhere in the world that humans exist has a feral hog.
Like wild hogs, they have roamed the Jamaica wild since the time of Spanish.
Yeah, because the Spaniards probably dumped them,
by
right?
Trappers and licensed gun holders using shotguns and rifles. Wild hog hunting has long been an economic activity in the Blue Mountains.
How did they say they got there? Was it Spaniards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
the
And see, that's the way a
1980s.
lot of them islands. And when we went to the Bahamas, it was the same way. Not so much on Nassau, but on in the Exuma Islands, they have one called Pig Island. The whole island's covered in pigs, and I guess you go there and they come out and swim the ocean and shit with you, and you feed them. So that part,
If you take more than $10,000 to Jamaica, you have to clear it through customs.
yeah. Oh, dude, let me tell you. So I got to looking on everything I could take with me to Jamaica, because you know me, if I can't take my bag, I'm kind of freaking out.
Are you gonna try the goat curry?
Yeah.
Really?
So you
I've
can't.
never had that.
We're making reservations for a bunch of different restaurants as soon as we get there. But you can't have a knife. I can't take a knife.
Yeah.
They said it's like a jail sentence.
You know what the coldest month in Jamaica is?
What?
January. Do you know how cold it gets?
How cold?
75 degrees.
Yeah, I already looked up the temperature. For when we're over there next week.
Yeah.
It's going to be like 93 degrees is the coolest day.
It's like living in Florida.
But it does get down. They said the coastal winds blowing in
yeah,
are super nice.
Or like 60s.
And they said it gets down to like 70
Oh, yeah.
at nighttime. So, and not horrible. And I'm going to be staying in a 5-star resort, so I really don't care. As long as the beer's cold, the pool water's cold, and they keep the drinks coming, that's pretty much the extent of what I'm going to do. Other than couples massage, I mean, I'd like to go do some of that other cool stuff, but I just don't know how readily available it is.
Why is it all I have in my head right now is there's an episode of Family Guy where he goes on like an all-exclusive resort like that, and it clearly says to not leave the resort, and he does, and he winds up on a stake. Like his head is on a stake, and he's like, I left the resort. Like it's
I mean,
shit you might do.
They everywhere you go, they say, "Oh God, don't do this. Oh, don't do that." They said that the Bahamas was sketchy when we went back in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, we had more fun on Nassau Island than humanly possible.
Yeah,
we stayed in an all-inclusive resort, but we took for $1. No shit, $1. You could take the transport bus, the public transport bus, anywhere on that island.
What's the exchange rate over there?
In the Bahamas, it's like
No, I mean like where you're going.
over there.
Yeah.
I think it's really good. I have. Now I'm gonna have to look it up.
I just didn't know if you already looked it up and not like.
No, now I'm gonna have to
Honestly,
look
I mean,
it
you
up.
think about it, like, and I'm not being like, I'm not saying I have the money, but like how I just said, like they require you at $10,000, you have to clear it through customs and get it like looked at and shit. But it's like $10,000 is not that much money. I mean, it is, but it's really not. You know, I feel
Right. I mean, okay, so
shit, I spent like 5 or 6 on my vacation to Gulf Shores.
this says 156.08.
It's a good radio station
So it's 56 cents.
per dollar.
Yeah, 56 cents extra. So for $1, 1 equals $1.56.
Well, that's not terrible.
So it's time and a half.
Time and a half.
Yeah, time and a half.
Yeah.
We're getting a little overtime.
Right?
But they specifically told us, not to bring a lot of money
Yeah.
because it's all inclusive. So they're like, just bring money for tips.
Yeah.
And they're like $5 is a lot to these
I didn't know
people that
like
work
I was
there, and I'm
watching
thinking,
videos because I got to
cheapskate.
after you told me about the whole like thing you guys go through. Like, of course, you know how TikTok and Facebook hear your conversations. Well, TikTok started playing all these like resort videos and shit like that. Well, then I was watching one about that new cruise ship that they had that I told you about. They had like the 12 passenger room, 14 passenger rooms thing. Did you know on cruise ships that they like now, and I think it might be certain ones. I don't know if you've ever been on a cruise.
Oh yeah,
but like
I went with the whole fraternity.
every day you're charged a like convenience fee that goes to the staff members.
For sure.
And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they tell you not
even
to
if
tip.
Even if you don't do anything,
It's a convenience fee
you're
per day.
automatically paid. And
Yeah, it's like
I guess they say
a figured in
fucking Wi-Fi
gratuity.
is expensive on a ship.
It's figured in gratuity. The kicker with a cruise. This is the reason I'm not big on cruises. And I went with a whole fraternity when my buddy was in college. We went
You see that one broke down in the ocean.
We went to Cozumel. Oh yeah,
They fucking lost power.
like
just stopped dead in the water.
I'm not gonna be stuck in the middle of the ocean on a giant freaking.
I mean, you wouldn't run out of food.
giant boat. You could.
Why? How?
I don't know.
Human beings are food.
Oh God, that's gross.
If life or death, I'm eating someone's leg.
I think their ass cheek would probably taste the best.
I mean, you put it over a fire with some salt and pepper.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking if you go fat to meat ratio, an ass cheek should be like a ribeye.
Should be, yeah, I ain't eating a human ribeye.
No,
but
no.
I mean, like,
well, I mean, unless they got some
see
good
that.
love handles, and then I'm on.
Maybe.
You know,
Yeah.
you just want that.
You don't want to eat a titty. They're all
You want
fat.
that good marbleization.
Yeah, you don't
Pec
need
muscle on a guy, a tit's all fat on a girl.
Yeah.
That's why I'm thinking ass, cheek, or thigh.
Yeah.
That's
what I'm
good.
saying, like the
good
leg.
marble.
Like, I would chop it off at the hip.
Why did we get cannibalistic all of a sudden?
I'm just saying.
But no, when we went, we
lived.
did the whole all-inclusive thing on a cruise.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so what they don't tell you on a cruise is that all-inclusive, that pays for your room, your meals, at the buffet.
Yeah.
Any other restaurant on this all-inclusive that we went on was not covered. Any other bar was not covered. But they don't tell you that when you go up and order a drink. They just say, "Oh, okay, what room?"
Yeah.
Well, that's what they do at the other bars.
That's why you gotta have a credit card on
and you
file.
say what they say what room? You just tell them your room number.
What happens if your card gets declined?
I don't know, but we got back to port and I had a $900 bar bill. I about puked, and they weren't gonna let me off that damn boat till I paid it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Well, I'm pretty sure now
y'all
you
should have
have to have
told
a
somebody.
card on file. And
They
they
did.
Just charge
They
the
did. They
card.
put it straight to my credit card, which still kind of pissed me off. But they're like, you have a $900 extra bill. I'm like, I paid for the all inclusive. They're like, yeah, but you didn't pay for all of the drinks you had at the casino bar. You didn't pay for all the drinks you had on the front deck bar. And I'm like,
because
oh my
if you
God.
buy that drink pass, you only get so many drinks a
And
day.
you only get because they don't want you getting drunk on a cruise ship.
Yeah. But even if you like in the casinos, it's like included. Like alcohol is like kind of free. Like
No,
regular
certain
casino.
you have to read all the fine print. Certain places is included, certain places isn't, and you're only allowed so many a day, and you're not allowed top shelf alcohol. Like you're only allowed the bar alcohol. So it was sketchy. The way we did this one, it's me and my wife and two other couples.
Swingers.
No, I'd share a lot of stuff, but I ain't sharing my wife. But we did it's called the Royalton. It's a great big resort, but they have the Hideaway, which is the adult side. So we're staying on the adult side, which has an adult only swim up bar, pool, all the cool stuff. So you can.
It's gonna be hot.
I don't want to be that guy, but if I'm going on vacation, last thing I want to do is deal with somebody else's kids. Get warm on you?
Ugh. Mama didn't raise no bitch.
Yeah. Well, no.
She did.
But that's wrong. So yeah, I'm excited to do anything but be in Kansas.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm just ready to get on the plane, hang
Man,
out.
Just think, my last day, you won't be there.
It sucks.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. You're right.
It's gonna be a peaceful fucking week.
I don't even care. It is. You're not gonna have anybody giving you shit.
No, Mitch will be back.
Oh, he will. He will.
Mm-hmm. He's not gonna be happy.
No.
Oh, fuck him.
No. So you got a new job starting. I'm going to Jamaica. I mean, I see good in it.
Fuck video today.
I see good in it because we're gonna have a whole lot more to talk about every night we shoot the podcast because I will have not seen you.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have all kinds of catching up to do every week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's the other thing I wanted to bring up. So today, I've seen a lot of clips of him on TikTok. I've seen a lot of small sound bites. This Terrence Howard.
I didn't know he was that smart.
This dude's
I just knew him as an actor.
ridiculous smart. Yeah. And I knew he was an actor too. I don't know how much of that wormhole I spiraled down that I really believe. And I didn't really quite know how to take him. Like at the end of the day, I think all I can say is there's nothing going to make me believe that God's not real. Nothing.
He never said that.
But he kind of alluded to some of it.
Well, so did the whole Billy Carson thing.
Yeah. Like Billy Carson at the end of the day though was quoting scripture out of the Bible. He knew what he was talking about.
He did in that video too, I think, for a minute.
Yes and no. But some of the way he was talking about the universe being built.
Learned a lot about fucking electricity.
I learned a shit ton about electricity. And I also learned a shit ton about the
gravity's not real, people.
Pythagorean theorem or whatever, where they come up with a straight line and there is no straight lines in the universe.
But I can draw one.
You can, but it's just like he talked about with the plants.
I'm just saying.
So if you walk by a
chalk line, a straight line.
You walk by a plant and it's not moving.
Oh yeah, but it's
not moving to our perception. But if you watch it under a time lapse video, they move a lot.
Yeah.
And then how he was talking about multiplication, how 1 times 1 equals 0.
No, 2.
You can't take something times something and there be nothing.
Yeah.
So there's a flaw in that.
Yeah, he tried saying that like
mathematical equation.
1 times 1 equals 2, and then like anything times itself should equal
something. It has to equal something
because it can't equal itself if there's 2 of those same objects.
Well, and it can't equal 0.
Yeah.
Because there was obviously something to take it times something. There's 2 things there. It can't be 0.
Yeah.
And that totally made sense. That's why I kind of was like, okay, and I nerded out and I listened to the whole thing and I'm like, if 1 times.
I was kind of intrigued by the whole diagram thing he made with the
hinge pins.
Yeah, that and like how they made Saturn out of that.
Yeah, with
like,
the pentagon or whatever.
He tried saying how they actually dated how old the Earth is. And like
by the distance that it's moving away from the sun per year,
and that the sun
which was
.6,
I believe, 0.6 of an inch.
Made. And like, I mean,
it's
the thing
a cool
is
theory.
You're never gonna know the actual truth to anything. And I think what's crazy about human beings is we always want to find that truth. And when someone comes up with something that's very fucking believable,
you want to latch onto it.
Everybody latches onto it.
Right.
Just like how he tried saying, well, Einstein, he was not wrong, but he wasn't right. He just didn't have the whole formula.
And like Nikola Tesla.
Everybody fucking knew.
He said everybody just dismissed Tesla.
Yeah.
Because Tesla's was too radical.
Yeah.
What if Tesla was right?
Just like the guy who changed the periodic table.
Right. I mean, and the way he talked about the center of the Earth not being solid.
Bubble.
Yeah, not being solid.
Yeah. Have we ever been there?
I don't know, but I
drilled down that fucking far.
Well, no, I think if you drilled down to the center of the Earth,
it'd pop.
It may pop. But I mean, in the same breath.
But is there a reason for that? But what about the fucking hole in Antarctica? Where does that fucking hole
go?
Like,
but you hear him talking about it, and it makes perfect sense. So if you go up into space, the pressure gets really, really heavy, and will potentially crush things. Same way with going too deep in the ocean. What happened to that beer can that all them rich people got in and tried to go look at the Titanic? Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. Yeah. Like, so you got to look at it. That's possible that there's a bubble, or not necessarily a bubble, but a void in the center of the Earth, and that reverse pressure is what creates gravity.
Certain people know that.
You know,
it's like the whole Illuminati fucking thing.
There's a wormhole. There's a wormhole you can climb down.
Like, why is no one talking about the hole in Antarctica that goes some fucking way?
I have a feeling there's a lot of people that know a lot of shit, but we're not allowed to know it. If that makes sense,
right?
I have a feeling that there's people,
because like he said, we're trained that way.
There's people who know people. Yeah, I mean, you and essentially you are. You're trained that way your whole life to this is right, this is wrong, this is the way it's supposed to be. What if it's not? What if the whole time, everything that we've been taught over hundreds of years started off as a lie however many years ago?
That's just humanity itself.
It is. And it's like he said, he goes, have you ever, I'm not even going to go into that. But yeah, there's some holes in what I've thought I knew my whole life. There's some holes.
This is not. See, I had forgot about this.
The religion, I mean, you're never gonna sway me one way or another. But some of the scientific parts of it.
Fucking going back to saying that's what the churches wanted you to think. They wanted you to think there's straight lines, and they want you to make this cross diagram, and everything's a straight line and makes a cross, and makes a cross, and makes a cross. And he was like, it fucking doesn't. It's not.
It's round.
Yeah, it's not the same.
And I don't know enough about the periodic tables and the elements to know if what he was saying was correct with like platinum and you know all these different elements, and how it's not just this element and this element. There's stuff in between too.
Oh yeah.
And okay, maybe there is. I don't know anything about that.
See, I had forgot about this. Now I'm gonna have to go home and.
I'm telling you, I did.
The FBI look at my computer.
Well, I mean, they're not going to find much but Pornhub.
Done it before. What?
Pornhub? On your computer.
Oh, no. Now my kids get on there.
But yeah, there was a lot of that. If you haven't watched it yet, that episode of
Joe Rogan.
The Joe Rogan Experience with Terrence Howard is really good.
Yeah.
And I also watched this week Sean Ryan show with Tulane.
Call of Duty guy, yeah.
That dude's badass.
Yeah.
Like,
I haven't watched it.
It's very cool. And he talks about chi, energy, and like where it's stored in your body and the way you can tap into it.
But how is that shit real?
Well, here's my thing.
I mean, like, it's like the people who say, like, you can become one with the fucking earth by walking barefoot and, like, sleeping on the ground, and it takes your energy to the earth, and earth gives it back. And I'm like, how the fuck do you know this?
Well, I mean, everything's made up of energy.
Electricity.
Yeah, and electricity is energy.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, I see that. I do like the way that Tulane, I think is what his name was. Tulane. I do like the way he explained it as far as religion goes as well.
Yeah.
And brought the two together like that. I thought was really freaking cool. Really
Here's
cool.
The question. Okay. So, we've watched Billy Carson.
Yeah.
Who doesn't necessarily, he says, you know, there is only one God, right?
God with a capital G.
Yeah. Doesn't, he still, I don't think which he might have not got his hands on that information yet, doesn't necessarily say that that person said exists, just like the guy we watched today. Do you, this is going to be a fucking controversial question.
No, that's fine.
Do you think it is the only reason why people believe in that stuff is because that is what generation after generation after generation of humanity, because there's movies, there's like not very much that I know of, and I might be wrong, physical evidence of said shit that has happened. With that, do you think, like what he said, it is what we were taught by these churches that wanted the straight lines and all the shit, and it has just carried over for so long that, like, today's generation believes that, because like he said, I believe I was reborn to do what I was supposed to do before, and I'm able to do it now because I didn't have the, how did he word it? I didn't have the, like, the timeline then didn't add up to now, and I don't have the technology now to do what I was supposed to do then, but I'm doing it now. Like how he was like with all the shit he patented and everything, and it made planets, and this is how planets were made, and this is how it was made, and this is how it was made. But it was like, do you think that's the same thing? Because, like, Billy Carson was like, you know, these other people came here, and they're the reason why we're here. And then today, he's like, we resemble fucking chimpanzees more than anything, to like 90-some%, but there's a couple other things. And then he also quoted Billy Carson in a couple things. But it's like, is there somebody who actually made everything? Or is what the guy we watched today, who was like, they all came from these stars. They're just gas shit that it just formed everything, right? And here's a fucking rock. And then, like, people are like, what's that rock? And then they fucking went there and they're like, we can do shit with this rock. We'll just plant shit here and boom, here it goes. Here comes humanity. Here comes all the other shit. Like, do you think that, and I'm only asking this because you're more of a churchier guy than I am. Like, do you think that, and put aside, like, think of the whole thing here.
Right.
But, like, do you think a lot of it's what we were taught for fucking hundreds and thousands of years, is like, there's one God, he made everything, this is the right way? Or is it maybe what Billy Carson said, is people were just going to fucking places and going, can you live on this? Oh, well, I mean, why not? Civilization, because he was like, you know, we came from these people because
Sentience.
Back then, human beings used to be 7 foot tall, 8
well,
foot
not human
tall,
beings.
They
were,
like, you know, and then they spawned off with this other shit, and then, like, they became us now. And then, you know, it was like one of those things that they were way more intelligent than we are, and it just kind of dumbed down over years.
So here's my thing. So, because I was raised in church, and because I'm convinced in my heart,
it's not a problem to believe in that.
And because I'm convinced in my heart that God is real and he's in everything. I do feel like humans as a whole are a curious creature.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it even says that in the Bible. Adam and Eve were so curious that they did things they shouldn't have, and God punished them for it.
They fucked.
No, they ate the forbidden fruit.
Yeah.
But I mean, you look at
Buffalo Chicken Mac, dog.
So if you look at what you were saying, do I think that this was just created by a big bang? Sure, it could have been.
I mean, technically, what that guy said.
But I think God did it. If that makes sense, I think if some of this stuff that they're finding out's true,
but why just us?
It's because God did it. And in my mind, the human nature is curious anyway.
Mm-hmm.
If he had in him to make us, why wouldn't he have made all this other stuff to keep us busy, to keep our minds working, to keep us interested?
But the one thing that human beings
so we didn't get bored.
What else is out there? That's why we're looking. But why would he just make us? Like,
who's to say he did?
Well, yeah.
Who's to say he didn't make all kinds of other stuff, and we just haven't found it yet?
If, like, say, for instance, if what Billy Carson said was true, was other people came here, and helped start this thing,
and helped start it,
were like working for, or however he said with him,
used us.
Why have they not come back?
Maybe we're not ready. Maybe we're not ready yet.
As old as if that dude was right and as old as the Earth fucking is. I mean, how many times are we gonna fuck this up?
I'm saying maybe it's just like God. God's gonna come back in His time.
It's his kid, but yeah.
Well, yeah, God, Jesus, they're gonna come. He's gonna come back in His time.
Do you think that's when He just clicks the button and it's over?
No.
Whatever.
I don't know how I feel. There you go again. If you believe in the Bible, you believe in the rapture, and if you haven't already passed away, and you're not already there, it says the meek will inhabit the earth, and He'll just take the rest of us, and away we go. And so,
but where are you going?
To heaven.
You coming back though?
No.
Is he going to start over? Like, okay, I kept the good ones.
Well, see, that's a question that I don't think anybody can answer.
Do you believe in reincarnation?
I don't know.
Because have you ever seen like how they take photos of like celebrities and like smart fucking people, and they find photos of people who were like 400 fucking years ago,
doppelgangers, however you say that.
Like they match.
Yeah.
And they're like, that's just him now. He just died and had to come back, and now he's doing all this shit. And like,
I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think. I don't know.
I don't know. Just the whole Billy Carson thing. How he was like, how did he word it? He was like, people don't die. They're reborn, and they're just like a soul is hundreds of years old. Like
right.
That part doesn't die off. You just come back in a different body.
So the way I was raised, and what I know to be true, they said this life that we're living right now is but a speck, like a second in the grand scheme of things. Like this is in the blink of an eye, it's over with. And I look back now, the older I get, I look back now and I'm like, wow, really kind of is. Like, where did the last 20 years go? Like, I don't feel older inside.
Right.
If that makes sense. Like, I don't feel like I'm any, I damn sure ain't any smarter than I was when I was 16, but like mentality and like things I want to do and places I want to see, I wanted to do that back when I was 16. I still want to do some of it. I just noticed that the old wheels are getting rusty and the ball joints don't work as good as they used to. And
what did he say? Wouldn't it have something with the birthmark or something about that? That's how you can tell.
Now, see, I don't remember that.
He had said something about how you can tell by looking at somebody. I don't remember. I also watched a video one time of a guy talking about how he was like an 18-year-old kid.
Right.
But he had all these flashbacks from like Vietnam and World War II.
See,
but like a lot of it couldn't relate. Like it was like he was like, I was not there, but this happened.
That's like
and
that Terrence
people
Howard.
would like go back and look at it and like that fucking. How do you know this?
Swearing he can remember being in his mom's womb.
Yeah, but like his kid was remembering things from like World War II that like
he never experienced.
No one experienced, and he was like, I don't have any service family members. I don't know any of this. I don't know. that was not taught in school. I didn't look any of this shit up, and I'm like, whether to believe that or not. But he was like saying things that were like classified shit that they've debunked in the last like, so many years.
Okay, so here's a perfect question, because that Terrence Howard brought it up.
I can't remember what was in my mom's womb. Couldn't fucking tell you.
What's the first thing you can remember?
Fuck, they always say to remember something or to how's it go to learn something new, you have to forget something old. Like,
so that whole saying, I forgot more than you'll ever know, possibly could be true.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's what they technically say, is that's how, like, our brains are hardwired. It's a storage unit, but like, everybody has a certain capacity of what they can remember.
Because, like, I can remember.
Like, I can
back
remember
when I
shit
was
from when I was a kid.
I can remember back when I was like 5 and 6 years
But I
old,
can't remember when the
riding
fuck I
a big
started
wheel
walking.
in the driveway at our house in the city.
Yeah, I can't remember when I started fucking walking.
No,
I mean, I can't remember when I started
no,
crawling.
but I look at old pictures like my mom and dad have, and I'm thinking, I kind of remember that. Like you
Yeah.
see a picture and you're like, I
Have a lot of
remember
head
where I
tattoos
was at and what I was doing. I
mean,
remember hanging out with my cousins at my mama and papa's house,
Yeah.
like on holidays, and just stupid stuff. Like
I remember elementary school. I remember preschool.
yeah. I mean, school, of course, but
But I can't tell you, like, I don't remember the first fucking outfit I ever wore as a baby. I can't
do you
remember.
think he was? You think he was being legit when he said he
I don't
remembers?
know. Like, that's how the episode started.
Yeah, he remembers being in
And
the
I was
womb,
like,
and he
wait a
remembers
fucking
everything
minute.
getting tight.
Yeah.
Like when he was being born.
Like when he
and-
said that, and like you told me to watch that, I was like, I'm not watching this dumb shit.
I mean,
And
honestly,
then, like, after about 15 minutes, it kind of went to other stuff, and I'm like, okay, I can get into this.
and I will say that for the first, well, I'm glad it didn't take you that very long, because for the first hour, I'm going, okay, I don't even know if I think this dude's smart or just crazy,
Yeah.
because he's giving out all these numbers and all these different equations, and I'm like, I'm a dumb redneck from Kansas. I don't know what any of that shit is.
Like when he was talking about the periodic table and shit, like I knew what he was talking about.
I mean, I knew what he was talking about too, but I couldn't have told you if he was
And
wrong
then
or
I got
right.
intrigued when he started bringing up other versions that people have tried to make and replace it, and I'm like, that's fucking nifty, because everybody remembers the periodic table being a fucking the same shape,
A
for
square
years.
graft.
And then it had a bar underneath it,
And
I mean,
his
like,
was all round and like,
yeah, it was a spiral, and
so yeah, I mean, that's
it looked
cool.
like a DNA strand.
Right, it's cool, but I don't know. I don't know if he's right or wrong. I don't know how to say if he's right or wrong, because I don't know anything about that stuff.
Everything he said was like,
It sounded very educated.
scientists have like tried that. Everything he said had he was rambling off websites. He was like Jamie.
Oh, he had all
I
kinds
mean,
of proof.
Yeah, and like they would go there and it would be there. So he had all the proof. And so it was like he wasn't lying on that aspect. I mean, they've never replaced the periodic table before.
And I do think what Rogan said was right. He's like, people are not going to believe you for a while.
No.
Because
it's not normal.
You're a celebrity from Hollywood.
Yeah.
You made yourself famous with acting.
It's like Cat Williams.
So they're going to look at you and think, he's an actor. What does he know? He doesn't know anything. How soon people forget, though.
Like how many people think
Ronald
Billy Carson
Reagan
crazy?
Was, in my mind, one of the best presidents we ever had. He was an actor.
Yeah.
He got his start in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And he ended up running the country.
Donald Trump.
I mean, yeah, Trump.
He
was
a
a
TV show.
He had his own TV show. He was a real estate mogul.
Yeah.
Like he built big buildings and had all these businesses.
And went bankrupt like 3 times.
He ended up running the country.
He grabbed a girl by the pussy.
Yeah, so in my mind,
and admitted to it.
A Hollywood movie star, he could know this shit.
Yeah.
How, I don't know, but he could. I think it's one of them things I didn't realize that I was as curious about some of this stuff until people start bringing it up.
Well, it's because it's not something you're used to hearing, because I believe it's true. Even when we talked to Rid about it last week, like, the school systems don't change. You're taught what they want you to know.
They show you what they want, and that's it.
And that's all they want you to know. They want you to know these major battles in history.
And that's a curriculum.
Whenever it comes to science and biology and stuff like that, and chemistry, they want you to know certain things, unless you're a very fucking intelligent human being, and they're like, okay, we're gonna hire this guy.
You're
and we're gonna let
intelligent, so
him-
we're gonna let you in on some stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna let your brain wander and see where it goes because there's only one of every 5 million people.
And there
have
you go.
your brain.
There you go again. It's like Rogan told that Terrence Howard. He goes, "They're gonna call you crazy."
Yeah.
But every person, if you look back in history, every person who is considered a genius now, they called crazy then.
Yeah. Well, he said they
Einstein?
hung that one dude fucking by his feet and burned him alive
Yeah.
because they thought he was fucking psychotic.
And it turned out he was right.
Yeah, he was right. And it's because
Einstein, they said Einstein was
humans-
crazy.
Oh yeah.
Nikolai Tesla, they thought he was crazy. The Tesla coil is still
Well, just like fucking
Marvel.
who's the fucking dude that was in the wheelchair? The robot guy. What the fuck was his name? Jesus Christ, what's his name? I just talked to my old lady about him the other day.
Timmy?
No, she didn't.
Timmy.
She did not believe he died. Wow, I'll think of it in a second.
Christopher Reeves?
No, the fucking guy. Jesus Christ.
He was in a wheelchair. He was
Um,
Superman. I don't know about you, but I need a drink. You want one?
Yeah, that thing's hot as fuck.
What you want?
I don't care.
It's a little warm in here. And all this conspiracy
Stephen
theory shit.
Hawking was a fucking genius, but I mean, guy couldn't really say much. I mean, do you know his kids are actually very intelligent as well? Like,
No, I didn't.
I think his parents were drug addicts. A lot of famous people's parents were addicts. But maybe that's why my kids are smart.
I don't really know how I feel about a lot of that stuff.
But like I mean like I feel like the only reason why people call them crazy and it's not true is because they're trained. I'm gonna say trained. Fuck it. They're trained to think. They're trained to think that. If you come at me and you're like, dude, like, I mean, if you came at me with the fucking lightning gun he fucking talked about today, like,
I
look
want
what
one.
the fuck I made. I'm like, that's not fucking real. That's a fucking toy.
Until I
And
shot you
then-
with lightning.
And then we went outside and you fucking shot a cat and it exploded. I'm like, okay.
I need one.
I called you fucking crazy, and then now we're gonna patent this bitch and sell it. Everyone's gonna say it's a fucking lie.
And see, that's
It's all
my thing.
CGI, whatever.
I think
And
that's the reason I didn't just instantly go, okay.
that's what intrigues me. Because like when you show me
He
this
has
shit,
so many patents.
this was in '95.
Yeah. Like this dude, and they don't just patent shit if it's not real.
Yeah.
They patent it so somebody can't compete
He
with him.
did fuck up though with that one patent, that whole VR thing.
Oh, he give it up.
Well, that's because.
But
I
he
mean,
still can do anything he wants to with it because
First.
they've already used it.
Yeah.
Because he was the
he
originator
he's
of
the
it.
founder for like.
I
3 or
can't
4
remember
more
the
years.
details on all of this stuff. You guys will have to look that up,
I'll put
look
the
that
link
episode
in
up
the-
and watch it.
I'll put the link in it.
And
And
really,
I'll pop up the fucking.
you can
image of the
dig in.
episode.
This dude come up with some serious, cool shit.
But I mean, like
For an actor.
me, I'm not saying I'm very fucking intelligent. I mean,
Oh wow, it's like a bomb pop.
I went through school very easy. Like
Wow,
graduated.
I didn't.
Graduated with all A's. Like it was easy to me because like how do you say? I didn't have to put in maximum effort because you didn't need to. Like
I did.
I think certain teachers made certain. The only thing I struggled with was geometry because it's fucking annoying.
And see, geometry was a lot of what he was talking about.
And well, yeah, but it to me it was fucking annoying because I didn't. In my head, I was like, I don't need to know this shit because I didn't plan on going to do things like.
Dude,
he
there's
does.
a lot of school that we
And-
didn't need to know.
Oh no!
How many
But-
times have you honestly, in your lifetime, in your adult life,
Mhm.
how many times have you used algebra
I haven't.
or,
But it was easy to
or
learn.
trigonometry?
See, I could do trig. I couldn't do geometry. But
I got one better than that. How many times have you had to go back and reference a history book
no.
to do everyday life?
Talking about like wars and shit, maybe.
Yeah, but I mean,
you know, but I mean,
As a whole, that shit's not useful.
no.
If you're going to teach our kids to do stuff, in my mind, I'm thinking they need to be taught life skills. They need to know how to do laundry. They need to know how to pay bills. They didn't even know how to cook and clean.
Yeah.
Like, I think public school systems, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying public school systems are horrible.
No, I mean, but like,
I
was
cannot
just
get
saying,
comfortable
like,
today.
but like with me, what he was talking about, like things that aren't normal to me, like things that aren't normal to most society,
Right.
intrigued the fuck out of me.
Oh, yeah.
Like when you said the whole like Billy Carson shit, I went home and did a bunch of fucking research, and I was watching a bunch of his podcasts.
Dude, I'm telling you, in the next 5 years, I'm going to Egypt.
And
I got to see it.
I can honestly say, this is gonna fucking bite me in the ass. I can honestly say I wanted to know if I could access the dark web. I fucking did it.
Really?
Yeah, they literally shut down my PC and wiped it clean on while I was on it. That motherfucker went black, come back on, and started up like the fucking thing. I just put everything together. I mean, like,
really?
Things that, but I couldn't figure out microphones. But like,
we had issues with our sound. Let me tell you.
But I mean, I figured it out. I mean,
yeah,
like, because it intrigued me to figure it out. Like, I mean, like, when I was at a young age and my stepdad owned a machine shop, I wanted to know what the fuck a combustible engine did. I was like, I want to know how this works.
See, and I think that's my thing.
I think I helped build the first one when I was 9.
With school, if it interests me,
yeah,
or if I felt like it was useful, I just got it.
But see, with me,
I can listen to a song 3 times.
Yeah.
I have a weird mind. I can listen to a song 3 times and just about know every word to it.
Yeah.
But if you set me down and hand me a piece of paper with 5 math problems on it, I'm going to stare at that sumbitch like a monkey doing a math problem for 2 hours.
Well, see, with me, it was different. Like,
because it bores me.
If a teacher sat there in class and literally gave me a fucking lecture on how to do these math problems, you know, how E equals MC squared works. If she sat there on a whiteboard and showed me, I'm like, okay, right, cool. And then whenever she'd be like, it's chapter 14 in your math book.
Right.
I would read that whole fucking chapter and do it better than she did it. And it was easier.
See, I'm
more of a hand it to me and let me figure it the fuck out.
And see, I'm just the opposite. If you can show me, if you can show me how to do something, I can do it.
Well, that's like at work.
But as far as reading, and my wife gives me a hard time all the time. She's like, quit saying you're stupid. I am. I'm stupid. Because I can't read something and then comprehend it enough to go do it. But if you hand me a damn picture book or a set of instructions and it shows me what I need to do, like, it cracks me up. If somebody gets something for Christmas and it's got to be put together, 1,000 to 1, they're going to hand it to me.
Yeah.
Because if you give me those instructions and I can reference it to pictures, I can put anything together. I can read a wiring diagram. I can read blueprints.
2 examples.
But the reading, for some reason, I don't comprehend the words enough to do it.
Well, that's like me. Like Ashley, she's on summer break from school.
Right.
And she was going through college algebra 2 or whatever it was. Granted, when I was a senior in high school, I was doing college algebra.
I couldn't do college algebra now.
No offense to you, babe, but I was doing college algebra my senior year.
I couldn't do it now.
I took it because I had full intentions of going to play football. So I'm like, I was told if I do these now, it knocks it out of the way.
And you could just go play football and not have to worry about it.
They just rolled over. I took college algebra, college English, stuff like that.
Right.
And she was struggling with some stuff, and so she was like, babe, watch this video and explain this to me. I watched the video, and the person that was doing it, whoever the fuck is the math teacher out here that does different videos, like, they find these videos, and they're all different people explaining these certain subjects.
Right.
And expect them to watch it. I was like, this doesn't make any fucking sense. This video makes no fucking sense. They're like going step by step by step by step by step, but when you went from step 2 to step 3, they wouldn't explain how you got half the problem right. So I looked it up and read on my own on how to do it. And I was like, now, how are you doing it? And she was trying to follow these simple instructions. And I was like, look, do it slower, but do this. And sure as shit, within a matter of 5 minutes, she was like, fuck, it's easy now. Because, like,
it just took that, that extra to click.
These college kids to watch a fucking video of somebody who's at some university that says, do it just like this, but they miss pieces. Because what they're doing is they have it wrote down on a fucking paper and they're reading it and writing it on a fucking whiteboard.
And maybe they're missing pieces because the whole system is flawed.
Yeah, and so it's
like I just
reading to me, like if you hand me a fucking 1,000-page book and go, read this book.
I'll tell you about it next year.
If it doesn't intrigue me, I'm gonna have a hard time reading it. Now, you set all fucking 7 books of Harry Potter on the table and say, reading these, I can read them in a fucking matter of 2 days, 3 days, because it intrigues me. Or like J.K. Rowling, like that's the same person, like the people who like wrote like
Lord of the Rings
or Star Wars or whatever. Like, I like playing video games that have lore books behind, like Destiny 2. It's a lore-filled game. It's got a storyline. They have books about the game.
Right.
And like Halo, Jesus Christ, I love that game. But I mean, like, there's stories behind everything, so it's easy to figure shit out. Like, school systems are failing because they're online learning.
Well, that and they're not keeping it interesting for kids.
There's a reason why Japan is so much more advanced than we are. Because
they're smart.
When they find out something, they break it the fuck down and show these kids at a young age, like, I'm talking my twins' age, how to do this. So you have 10 to 12-year-old Japanese kids who are doing the same shit 16-year-old kids in America are doing.
Oh.
And so it's like they're more advanced than we are. America doesn't fucking change.
We are in kind of a rut.
Like
we are in kind of a rut.
There's a reason why we're not at the top of any fucking leaderboard when it comes to any statistics on being smart. Yes, we build arguably some of the most reliable vehicles. Depends on the brand you fucking buy, but that doesn't fucking matter.
Ford all the way, baby.
I mean, to an extent. But I mean,
Toyota.
I watched a video of a kid that lived, was it Japan? Somewhere around there. And a fucking Hellcat drove by and he lost his fucking shit because he was like, that is the baddest fucking car probably in this country right now. And I'm thinking, motherfucker, you guys have Skylines and shit like that. Like 250 plus mile an hour fucking cars, easy right off the fucking showroom floor.
But they don't have that great American muscle.
Well, yeah. But I mean, America succeeds in our shit's made of steel, your guys' shit's made of aluminum.
And our cars have balls.
And, I mean, literally.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you can buy plastic versions.
I know.
But
Adam, truck nuts.
I think what he was talking about, it intrigues me because I have always latched onto, could it be real? Or, like, it's not what everybody agrees with. I mean, like,
yeah, no.
So, like, for
anything
me, I could
that
go
pushes
home right
against
now,
the norm,
yeah,
I dig it. In a sense,
now and turn on that episode, and as he's talking, I have multiple monitors. I could be fucking researching the same shit he's talking about and understand it. And tomorrow come into work and go, bro, I read it all.
Do it.
I fucking know what he's talking about, and he's not fucking wrong. Like, if it's literally,
or you'd be like, I read it. I think he's crazy.
Like, he swung for the fences and he hit a ball right outside the foul line in left field.
Just a bit outside.
I mean, like, he brings it back around. I mean,
in the way he talks, some of it seemed just a bit outside. Like,
yeah.
But in the same breath, there was enough of it that made sense, that made you go, I wonder.
I mean, my thing is America's land of the free, home of the brave. Like, we're the land of opportunity. Yeah. Like, you come here, you can do anything.
Right.
Okay? But you can't because the government and all these people regulate what you can and can't do.
True.
So it's like, let somebody try it. You let Elon Musk launch multiple fucking rockets that exploded.
Well, I don't think they really let him. I just think he's got so much money, he didn't have a choice.
I think at some point they could have just shot that bitch down, sit on the fucking runway.
True.
I mean, that's how much power they have.
True.
But, like, let this dude try it.
True.
Let him use his deals he's going to build, those little fucking deals. Send that bitch to space and watch him bring a rock back.
I'm telling you.
Like, let him try it.
Said he was convinced
Fund the guy.
that he could mine the asteroid belt.
Right?
If somebody come up to me
and
they're like,
me was this when he said this could replace combustible engines the way we travel.
Do it.
And I was like, motherfucker, the guy that tried that by putting water in a car and driving that bitch, he died.
Yeah. Like, I mean, do it. Let him. I would love to see somebody with a harebrained idea. Like, that seems to be, whether it is or not, it may be right on.
Mm-hmm.
But I would love to see somebody.
Well, what intrigued me was when
like
he was like,
Elon.
we can go from here to here.
Yeah, somebody that's got Elon's.
Yeah.
Fuck you, money.
Yeah.
come up with an idea like that and just do it. Don't ask. Don't do anything. Just do it. And when you're sure it's working, call every person you can think of and blast that shit everywhere.
Yeah.
Just to show it off.
So, I'm going to say this because it's actually true. It's not the exact guy, but like, the episode of Suits where he represents the guy that made that cell phone.
Love Harvey Specter.
Like, how the guy had the cell phone and had all the shit on the phone, and how he was dealing with other people, and they're like, we're not giving you like $5 million. We'll give you like, was it like $500,000 or $700,000 to make the product? And he was like, or all I have to do is upload this to the internet,
and anybody can make one.
And anybody can fucking make it, and you're out the opportunity to be the only one making it. Like, that happens all the time.
I think so. And some of the stuff I've watched, I think that's the way it should be done. If you're convinced what you've got's working or will work, they ought to make it public like that.
Yeah.
Let everybody try it. Because in my mind, the only way we're going to get better, and the only way we're going to improve on what we already have is to try.
But like, he already made a product that was already used by Microsoft, Amazon, IBM.
Right.
He made something, and they're like, fuck yeah.
Well, he didn't make it. He had the idea.
And he
patented it, and then they made it.
Yeah, they made it, and he was like, that's from my head.
Yeah.
Like, I did that. So what makes me think what other ideas he have is not wrong.
No, I know.
And so it's like, give him a shot. Jeff Bezos, you got plenty of fucking money. Imagine those little fucking drone things could power your Amazon delivery bullshit.
Wouldn't that be cool?
And they can go from here to there.
The other thing he said that intrigued me was the frequencies.
Right.
When he started talking about sounds and how sounds push against other sounds. And like everything whether this is true or not, I don't really know how to perceive that, but he said everything is a frequency. The earth has its own frequency.
Yeah.
He's like, the universe has a frequency. Humans have a frequency. And I'm like...
Because he said when you find the right tune...
When you find the right frequency...
It will attract human beings to it.
Right.
That's why, like, when you find a trending album, it's because they changed frequencies.
Well, and there you go again. Casinos play on that.
Yeah.
Because the most appealing... I believe, quote me if I'm wrong, I believe the most appealing tone is the key of E and G. If you ever sit down in front of a slot machine, their ding, 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 is the key of E and G.
Yeah, it draws
so
you
they
to
do
it.
that, so it draws you in like a fly to a bug zapper.
Yeah.
And they pump raw oxygen in, so it keeps you awake. So you're awake from the oxygen. You're hearing this appealing sound, and you're like, you know what? I didn't even really need this money. Here, put it in your pocket.
Yeah.
So I know that's played on.
And then like, what intrigued me was like, and I wanted to look it up a lot too, was like the whole the electricity shit. Like gravity. He was like, it's not real. It's
he said it was an electronic field.
Yeah, it's
pushing against another electronic field.
Pushing and pushing and pushing, and then
that's where I was going with the whole pressure.
Like once it syncs up, something else comes in and off balances it, and it causes it to push and push and push.
Right.
So that's why, because he was like, have you ever noticed if you take a balloon and you rub it against yourself and you put it over the ground, it draws dirt to it.
Right. The static.
So he was like, electricity can pull it off, but keeps it on. And I'm thinking, what causes the electricity?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, fuck, I need to know this. And so like that's where my brain goes is like I would
100%.
rather do a fuck ton of research on my computer and be told, okay, it's not real. I mean, like,
right.
But has anybody ever proven that gravity is real, or was it something someone said? It's gravity. You drop something, it goes straight to the fucking ground.
And that's like he said too with I don't remember right off the top of my head names here.
My headphones.
But he's like that whole, was it Einstein? Was he the theory of relativity?
Like, for everything,
for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. He's like, that's not true.
Well,
he said because there's an opposite,
missing pieces.
There's an opposite force pushing against that force already. And he said if you find that frequency, there's no more friction.
Yeah.
He said that's why a combustion engine has to have something to cool it because it's working against itself the whole time. He said if they could build that engine in a circle. There's no friction. There's nothing to slow it down, because he said it'll go into a wall, turn, go into a wall, turn, go into a wall, turn. He said if it's in a circle, it goes so fast, it goes faster than normal, and there's no friction, so there's no heat. So there's no need for a cooling system.
Yeah.
Which that totally makes sense. I mean,
it's fucking nuts.
It totally makes sense.
Like, it intrigues your brain. But like that's human nature, is we're hardwired to learn and want more.
And intrigued. Like, naturally intriguing.
Yeah. And some people aren't. Some people are like, oh, he's fucking lying. I mean, there's no fucking way.
There is a lot of naysayers that'll just go, that dude's crazy.
If that's the case, it should have happened years ago. Technology advances every single day.
Every day.
Every day.
And everything you think you know is true
is old.
Can be debunked.
Yeah.
Like they started talking about how long dinosaurs were here before humans, until here just recently, and they found a human skeleton and carbon dated it, and it dated older than dinosaurs. So were we here when dinosaurs were here, or were we not?
Yeah.
Everything you've been taught your whole life could actually be a lie.
God, could you imagine if they were pets?
I would love to have a T-Rex, baby.
Fuck, I'd have a fucking velociraptor as a guard dog.
You know, velociraptors were only the size of a dog, right?
So they're fucking vicious.
We shouldn't even be talking about this without my oldest kid here, because he cracks me up. We get to talking about Jurassic Park and dinosaurs and everything. My son, my oldest, should have been a paleontologist. Like, the dude's ate up with dinosaurs.
That's how my nephew is. He's intrigued.
And he goes,
dinosaurs.
you know, Dad, he said, when you watch Jurassic Park, that the ones they call velociraptors, he's like, those aren't a velociraptor. He goes, an actual velociraptor had feathers and was about the size of a dog. He's like, those ones that they show on there that they call velociraptors, he goes, that's more of a Utah raptor. I'm like, really? So then I had to look it up. Damned if he wasn't right.
That's how my nephew...
A velociraptor was not 7 foot tall.
Go to Walmart and buy a bunch of fucking dinosaur toys and sit there behind a couch and go, hey, Cooper. And he's like, what? And you just start holding them up. He'll name every fucking one by the actual name.
Yeah.
Not just T-Rex. Like, he knows the scientific name of every fucking... He's always been intrigued by dinosaurs.
So have you ever been up to this, the place up there? There's a new movie theater off 135th Street, and that something Prairie Fire?
No.
It's right east of Shields.
Maybe.
Well, right there where that movie theater and all the restaurants and everything is, there is a Prairie Fire Museum. Well, we were up there for something or another. I don't even remember what it was. And we walked in there. Well, they have this giant skeleton of this prehistoric fish.
Really?
And we walked in the door, and they have a T-Rex skeleton. That's why we went in there, because my kid wanted to see it. We walk in, and Dylan's looking at it, and actually, I probably just said that wrong. It wasn't a T-Rex. It's one that looks like a T-Rex, big tall one. I don't remember what it was. And before I'm 20 feet from this thing, and it is a giant fossil, like still in the rock, sitting on the floor. And he said the name of it. I was like, what? He goes, that big fish-looking thing. That's a whatever the heck, and says it. I was like, are you sure? He goes, positive. Walked over, read the plaque. Sure shit. He knew what he was talking about. I'm like, oh, my God. So we walked around in there, and they've got a whole bunch of fossils. And I guess this Prairie Fire Museum, all of these things came from Kansas. And then they made this little museum. It's nothing big, but it's cool. It's kind of like Greenbush, where you take your kids. Yeah. And they learn, well, this is one of them deals where they take school kids too, and teach them about different stuff in our area. And dude, he knew every single one of them.
That's good.
I'm like, huh, wow. Not that it was on a cartoon, not that it was on a TV special or whatever. He will get bored and just look up different things. Yeah. Totally ate up with it. And with Vikings, totally ate up with Vikings. I just got him, his birthday was Sunday, turned 22, and I bought him a ladder pattern Damascus Viking sword.
Already killed 3 cats and a goat.
I mean, if he gets close to him, he might.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just, there's so much intriguing in the world. But I'm going to Jamaica.
Oh God. That's how you know.
I don't even care.
That's how you know we're wrapping it up.
We're wrapping it up because I can't really. I could spiral down this wormhole for hours. Yeah. There's so many different aspects of it that don't make sense to me, but I want them to. And so many things that dude said on that podcast that I was like, wow, no. You think?
Yeah.
I hate it and I love it when somebody says something and you're like, you get that 30-degree confused dog look where you're like,
that's
shut up, really?
perks of being a human.
So,
on that note,
yeah, I think we've pretty much.
This episode goes up Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, whichever one.
Okay.
I don't think I have anything to do. I'm not saying anything. Because if I say I don't have shit to do, then
something comes up and you have something to do.
Shit to do.
Well,
next week we won't have an episode because you're gonna be gone.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Then when you come back, we'll shoot one. Probably.
Jamaica, man.
Yeah. He's gonna come back with dreads.
I mean, if they can figure out how to put it in hair that I don't already have.
Hair extensions, dog.
Oh, okay. Well, I might come back with dreads.
If women can use it, why can't men use it?
I don't think I'd look good with them.
Never know.
I might come back looking like Jack Sparrow, though. Have a few in my beard.
Oh, then you should have cut your beard then.
I know.
Should have let it fucking grow out again. But, all right, well.
Here's to new beginnings.
Oh, my God.
Because Cody's leaving me. He's bailing.
Not on you guys.
No, he's not. He's not leaving here. He's just leaving our every day.
Right. We will see you next time.
Yeah. Yeah, see you in a couple weeks. I should have some good stories.
Oh, God.